So in case you've ever wondered what it's like to fly with your dog across the continent, this video is for you because I'm going to explain how I flew with my dog from Korea to Switzerland using Lufthansa. So I must say there was quite a lot of paperwork. It took me almost 7 months to prepare everything. I would say because I didn't know what to do in the beginning. I looked up quite a lot of stuff. And I talked to a lot of vets. I found out that there's a vet in Korea that specializes in those travels, especially to Europe and to the States. It's called Munich Animal Hospital. So what you basically have to do is, you need to obtain a blood sample after you have vaccinated the dog for rabies, and then submit it. And once you get the approval from an institution in Korea that's acknowledged here in Switzerland, you get the certificate, and then you're supposed to send the documents over to Switzerland to basically get an invitation to come to Switzerland. But I didn't do it myself because it was very complicated. One time the paperwork just didn't go through and I didn't get the approval. That's why I used Animal Hospital and they did it for me. It was around 400,000 Korean won. And then I had to figure out which airline would allow a dog in the business class, because economy is honestly a little bit too exhausting, especially when your dog isn't really used to flying. And my dog has a little bit anxiety when he flies. That's why I chose to fly business. And I called Air France, KLM, Finnair, and they didn't allow dogs in the business class. Swiss and Korean Air, they don't have direct flights during low seasons. That's why Lufthansa was the only option. They actually allowed dogs in the business class. But the difficulty is also you need to find the right date where you can bring your dog. So you need to book the ticket first and then ask them whether or not you can bring the dog, and then they will reserve a seat for the dog. But in some cases, you book the flight, but you don't get the seat for the dog. And then you would have to rebook. And then you would have to pay, etc., etc. I called Lufthansa and I did the booking via phone. And whilst checking at the same time if that certain flight had available seat for my dog. So I did that. I secured a date. And then 2 days before you fly, I was supposed to go to the animal hospital to get all the documents checked, and then he made the reservation for me to go to the customs center. I'm not sure what it's called, but I'm gonna look it up and write it here, where they basically inspect the dog whether or not he's fit to be in cabin. And once everything is approved, you can just go to the airport and show them the document during check-in. So I didn't have to show the documents or do anything during the layover, but once I arrived in Zurich, I had to show my documents to prove that I was invited from the government to fly in with the dog. And then you pay like 40 Swiss francs and you get a certificate. Upon arrival, within 1 week, I had to go to the vet in Switzerland and register him as a dog living in Switzerland. Of course, you don't need to do that if you just travel with the dog, but I had to do it because I wanted to register him here. That's the whole process, and I'm gonna show you how the flight went and everything in a video. So this is Namu at the Munich Animal Hospital. And this is where I obtained all the final documents. Here we are at the Animal and Livestock Quarantine something institution where they approved all the documents for us. 나무야. This is gonna be a long journey. I'm moving the stuff from here to here. It was really, really exhausting. And if you actually don't do the customs thing with the quarantine the day before or 2 days before, I think, then you would have to go a few hours ahead of time. And this is a bit too stressful. So I really recommend doing it a few days before in case you miss some documents or something doesn't get through. Namu?
in addition to your coffee.
So the beginning of the flight and takeoff was pretty okay. He wasn't very stressed, but as time went on and louder it got, he was yelping a little bit, so I had to take him out, and every 30 minutes I think, even during the night, so I couldn't sleep at all. But the rest was fine, and then we arrived in Munich. So it was pretty exhausting for him. So he could walk a little bit, but we couldn't go outside. So I was a little bit scared he might pee. So that's why I gave him some diapers. On to the next flight to Zurich. This lasted only 50 minutes, so it was quite okay. So on the day of arrival, it was snowing quite heavily, and I think Namu is just not really used to that. So I think he was a bit depressed even the following day. That's why for example, he wouldn't come out of this carrier. But so we decided to just stay inside until he got used to everything. Well, that's it for this time's video, I guess, vlog. I don't know what's gonna be. But thank you for watching and see you next time.